Here's a look at some of the photos that have been coming into our newsrooms showing the Easter Sunday storms. It affected communities all over our viewing area. And if you have any photos you'd like to share with us and see featured on air, you can text it to us to the number at the bottom of your screen, 479-785-5000. Just attach the photo with a short message letting us know where the photo was taken. And tonight, some Fayetteville residents are left rebuilding after storms struck their neighborhood earlier today. 5 News reporter Jacob Luthi shows us the damage and the work the community did to help their neighbors.
Camera footage here from Ryan Crowder's home shows the moments a strong storm swept through his Fayetteville neighborhood on Easter Sunday.
Our fence was down, our roof was off.
Ripped the fence right off. I mean, a foot into the ground, ripped it right off. Ripped part of our roof off, ripped all the shingles off, and blew all the glass out of our patio area.
Residents say the storm was gone as fast as it came, destroying roofs and even moving cars. Debris-lined streets and residents on top of houses patching damage were the scenes in the Hughmount neighborhood.
Our neighbor's roof was caved in. Our trampoline is in their front yard.
I came home and everyone was surrounding our house. And people were calling us and making sure we were okay.
Residents say this all occurred just before 3 p.m. Sunday. Fayetteville Emergency Manager Shane Wood says he arrived at the scene after hearing of what happened.
No injuries, pretty significant damage to a few homes. The fire department did do some shoring on one roof that was pretty severely damaged, just so it wouldn't get any worse overnight.
In total, Wood says over 20 homes had either minor or major damage. By the time he arrived, streets had already been cleared as neighbors worked to help each other.
Our neighborhood group chat's going off saying if anyone needs help with anything. So, that is when people have damage and stuff like this, people always come together. So that's really nice to see for sure.
In Fayetteville, covering news where you live, Jacob Luthi, 5 News.
Flash flooding claimed 2 lives this weekend in central Oklahoma. Police and more say high water stranded 2 cars late last night and 1 was swept away under a bridge. Rescue teams were able to save some people, but a woman and a 12-year-old boy were found dead. Power companies across the state have also been reporting outages throughout the weekend after strong winds knocked down power line poles. Southside Church of Christ in Rogers is still recovering nearly a year after a tornado tore through their building. But this Easter, they gathered once again under a patched roof with stronger faith than ever. Jose Carranza shares their story.
On May 26, 2024, a tornado hit Rogers, damaging dozens of homes and Southside Church of Christ. The sanctuary was flooded, the stained glass shattered, and repairs are still ongoing today.
Sure enough, the main peak of our building with the stained glass, it had been so rocked by the building, it was as if the storm itself had just punched through the stained glass, which then shattered the projector screen, which then punctured the baptistry, which flooded the auditorium.
But despite losing part of their roof, church members didn't focus on the damage. Their first priority was becoming a hub for disaster relief, even while their own homes were hit.
Once it was light, we kind of said, okay, we need to go check on the church and kind of see, start to gather and then see which of our people are going to need some help. And so we came here in the morning and then starting to just check on the neighbors of the church, kind of this as being our kind of core place, and then just kind of building out from there.
Relief efforts continued for weeks. Church members spent their days clearing trees, checking on neighbors, and distributing supplies, thanks in part to donations from across the country.
Every morning, the week after the tornado, our members showed up, helped unload the truck, distribute the supplies, organize them, and then we had people who stayed all day, every day, helping to get supplies to the community.
Now, with Easter Sunday here, the church returns to the building, still under repair, to celebrate what they believe is the heart of their faith.
Today is Easter Sunday at Southside. Easter is a special day for Christians all throughout the world and has been for a long time. We also realize that the whole world is focused on the resurrection today. Isn't this the crux of what we believe in?
And for many, the storm only strengthened their community and their faith carrying them through any storm.
In the Bible, it talks about, to consider the lilies of the field. They toil not, neither do they spin, but God takes care of them. And sometimes we just have to be those lilies and just say, if it comes, it comes. look, we've lived through it before, and so we can live through it again.
Even if there's a tornado on the horizon, though I would pray that God would keep the tornadoes out of Rogers for the foreseeable future, certainly. But if another one comes, I have full confidence that this church will step up just like we did last time.
In Rogers, covering the news where you live, Jose Carranza, 5 News.
Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders is speaking about the state's new law allowing nitrogen gas for executions. She signed the legislation into law earlier this year and said this weekend that the state isn't rushing to resume executions. When asked about a timeline, the governor stressed the need for careful consideration. She told the Associated Press, quote, "Anybody rushing into a decision like that doesn't understand the severity and responsibility." Well, there's new details tonight about members of the Trump administration using non-secure communication to exchange information about a military strike. Christian Benavides is at the White House with the latest developments.
In an article published Sunday, the New York Times reports Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth shared detailed information about impending airstrikes in Yemen on Signal to a number of civilians, including his wife, his brother, and his personal lawyer. According to the New York Times, Hegseth shared in the Signal exchange details of the attack, including flight schedules for the warplanes involved. The report comes a month after it was revealed senior administration figures, including Hegseth, Vice President J.D. Vance, and National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, mistakenly shared the details of the airstrike with the editor of The Atlantic instead of using high-security communication systems available to them. Back then, Hegseth denied putting sensitive information at risk.
Nobody's texting war plans. There's no units, no locations, no routes, no flight paths, no sources, no methods, no classified information.
This comes as lawyers for the Trump administration are urging the Supreme Court to allow deportations of Venezuelan men they claim are criminal gang members to continue. The deportations remain paused while justices consider the matter. The administration's filing came hours after a rare weekend ruling by the justices which halted deportation flights. The migrants are currently being held in a Central Texas detention center. Christian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
A holiday tradition continues tomorrow at the White House. President Trump and the First Lady will be welcoming kids for the annual White House Easter egg roll. Thousands of people are expected to be there, while this tradition dates back to 1878.